All right, sports fans, welcome out to episode number 2 of GT Sports, the prediction and discussion. And I said I was going to come on every day, and I haven't been able to do that, but I'm going to try a little harder this week. I've been really, really busy with other podcasts and taking care of some other stuff. But this, I said I was going to do it, and I'm going to find the time to come out. It's going to be a short podcast. This was going to be short too, and talk. On this episode, definitely NFL football. So I want to talk here quickly, just a couple of minutes. There were two games yesterday on Saturday. That was the Houston Texans taking on, I believe it was the Baltimore Ravens, and that's the one I'm going to talk about here. And then later on, I'll break down Saturday's second game, which was the Green Bay Packers and the San Francisco 49ers. So instead of putting them all together on one, they'll be a little bit shorter. Um, Especially because it's the playoffs. And so this one is strictly with the Texans and the Ravens. And so I have the Ravens. Uh, I thought it was going to be something like 48-21 is what I think I picked, but 34-10. I'll say this and then kind of break down the game and then give my opinion because that's what I do here. I didn't look. First of all, great season for the Houston Texans. I think when you lose this game to Baltimore, there's nothing to be ashamed about. These guys exceeded expectations, in my view. They won the division, and then they won their first playoff game at home. So they come on the road, not very competitive against Lamar Jackson. Probably going to win the MVP. That tough defense. It's cold. But when you talk about the Houston Texans, I thought that they did really good this year. First year head coach D'Amico Ryan's first year quarterback CJ Stroud, and everything they accomplished this year. I think when the dust settles for this year and they look, they're gonna see themselves and say we exceeded expectations because I certainly didn't have them winning the division. I had Jacksonville. I certainly didn't have them getting to the second round of the playoffs, and so they definitely surprised me and made me a believer. And so I think when you look at the whole season for Houston, I think you got to look back and say, man, we did great this year. And I think this team, I'm already saying this going into next year. I think the Texans are going to be the best team in their division. And I think they're going to get back in the playoffs if they stay healthy. And people really, really take notice. Other teams better take notice of CJ Stroud, D'Amico Ryans, and what they're doing because this team is only going to get better and they're going to get at least to the second round again next year or further. So just a great season for the Texans. All Texan fans should be on cloud nine. I know you're disappointed that you lost, but when you look at the whole season and what this team accomplished, a lot of people didn't really have them or think they could make it this far, right? So for me, this team is just the future's bright for them, and I think CJ Stroud is going to be definitely something that people are going to talk about for years to come because he can handle pressure. And I think he's one of these kind of quarterbacks. It's just his first year. I didn't see much of him in college, but he seems to love the moment. It seemed this year, as young as he wasn't afraid of the moment. He wanted to be in the moment. He wants the ball in his hands. And many times throughout this year, right, he took his team down the field and put them in a position to score a touchdown, get a field goal for the win. So he's definitely made for the big moment. We'll see how season 3, 4, and 5 go. But if you're a Texan fan, you got to love this quarterback, and you got to love what D'Amico Ryans did. So another great season for the Texans. For the Baltimore Ravens, I think this team's going to go to the Super Bowl. I've said before that I thought they were the best team in the AFC. Of course, the Kansas City and Buffalo play later today. We'll see which one of those teams, either one of those teams that needs to go to Baltimore. It's going to be a game because I think Buffalo can give Baltimore a game. I think Kansas City, even though they haven't been the Kansas City Chiefs of the past, they're still with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce a very, very tough team. So no matter which one of these two teams come out today, it's going to be a great AFC next week championship game against Baltimore. So Baltimore still got a lot of work to do, but I think they're the best team still in the AFC. Lamar Jackson has played great. I think he's going to win the MVP. It's just been a great season for him. And here's the biggest thing for them. They've been healthy. Lamar Jackson's been healthy the whole season, and that's been the difference. I think when you looked at this game, Houston was able to get some blitz in the first half. The first half was very, very close. I mean, I think when you look at he was struggling, they were getting to him, they were sacking him. And I thought, whoa, this is going to be a game. I really thought for a moment there in the first half that Houston had a great chance to pull the upset. Then you come in the second half, they regrouped. That's what good, experienced championship teams do. When they're in a dogfight in the first half, you take it up another level. If you want to be a champion, you know you've been hitting them out. You know you struggled in the first half. You know this team is hungry. You know this team's coming after you. Lamar Jackson, championship teams rise to the occasion in the second half. They rose up. They brought another level in the second half, and they were too much for Houston, and they got the win 34-10. But to me, that's what championship teams do. They don't start off and just whip you from the beginning. Houston came in with a great game plan. And in the first half, they really brought it to Baltimore. But championship teams will regroup. They'll find a way because we are the better team. We are the most experienced team. We should not be in a close match. They picked it up another level, and they were too much in the second half for the Texans. And that's what I like to see. And I think that's what championship teams are made of, right? And so they definitely showed why they should be and why they have a great opportunity in that second half to be to be in the Super Bowl and possibly win a Super Bowl champion. So when you look at this team, I have Baltimore, and definitely they won it, and they won it in the second half. If you look at Lamar Jackson, he was 16 of 22 for 152 yards, two TDs, not big. As far as throwing the ball, but man, he had 11 carries for 100 yards. That was the main thing. That's what kept drives alive, and it was the run game. And I think that's what makes Baltimore and defenses really, really. You have to be able to contain his ability to run because third down and 6, third down and 4, third down and 7, he can throw the ball, but you also got to make sure because he has the ability to run to get a first down or to keep drives alive. And you saw that against that Houston defense yesterday. And I thought as the game went on in the second half, I thought that Houston defense really got tired. And then you could see the momentum in the fourth quarter going towards Baltimore. So again, the running game, I think, for Lamar Jackson, 100 yards was huge for the Ravens in this win. But the Ravens, 42 carries total for the game, 229 yards. So Lamar's 100, but they were able to run the ball effectively. If you can run the ball in this league with the lead, you're going to wear down some defenses. They were able to do that for over 200 yards, 229 to be exact. The passing, like I said, 18 receptions, 152 yards. Not too big in the passing game. If you look at Houston and CJ Stroud, 19 of 33 for 175 yards, 14 carries, 38 yards. Houston could not run the ball whatsoever on that tough Raven defense, and they had 19 receptions for 175 yards. So they weren't able to score a touchdown, the offense, CJ Stroud, which they were able to do getting into the playoffs, winning the division. And this time they couldn't do that. And that's why they got doomed. They got that one touchdown off that special teams, that punt return, I think, or it wasn't a punt return. I think it was a kickoff return. I'm not sure if it was a punt return. I can't quite remember, but I know it was on the special teams, took it all the way down and tied it at 10. So with the offense for Houston not being able to get anything going, that's what doomed them in. But in my opinion, the Texans, like I said, took the loss, but man, that future looks bright. A lot of people didn't expect to see them there, so it exceeded expectations, and I look forward to this team coming back next year. Like I said, I'm not a Texan fan. I'm from Texas, so I root for them, but I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. But it was really nice to see that team go. I'm a CJ Stroud fan this year. This kid can just play, right out play, and I love his faith. I love the way he talks about how he got here. I like D'Amico Ryan, so I'm a fan of D'Amico Ryan's, and I'm a fan of CJ Stroud. And the Texans are second, of course, obviously in Texas. I root for all Texas teams, but I'm a Cowboy fan. But this team for the Texans, man, I'm telling you, they're going to be around for a long, long time. They've got their quarterback, they've got their coach, and they're going to be in the AFC Championship. And it's going to be interesting because when you look at Burrow coming back, you got Patrick Mahomes. I mean, I got Burrow for the Bengals. You got Mahomes still for Kansas City. Josh Allen will be back for Buffalo. Watson will be back for Cleveland. Tua in Miami, and now you add C.J. Stroud to that mix here. Next year's football AFC is going to be really, really good. They've got a lot of talented quarterbacks. I think you have to add CJ Stroud to that. And then we can't forget, of course, Lamar Jackson, what he's doing this year. He'll be back next year for Baltimore. So with all those quarterbacks that I've mentioned, and then you throw Lamar Jackson into that mix, whew, it's going to be brutal and exciting to watch football, especially in the AFC next year. But Baltimore will move on. They'll await the winner of today's later games between um, Kansas City and Buffalo, which I'm going to watch both Detroit and Tampa. So it's going to be a great day of football. But for the Houston Texans, great season. They'll go into the offseason. We'll see what they have got coming. But I think that team is going to be the best team. Like I said, I'm already coming out. They're the team to beat next year in their division. I think they're going to win their division again, obviously, from what I saw this season. And I think they'll be back in the playoffs if they can stay healthy. So it was a great game, man. I really enjoyed it. And I'll come back later on here to quickly talk and break down the NFC side of yesterday's game between the Green Bay Packers and the San Francisco 49ers. That was also a good one. So about another couple of hours, I'll come back. I'll upload it. Like I said, I'm going to break these games down. I'd rather do it that way than try to bunch them all up. So there'll be a lot, maybe 10, 12 minutes, not too long. But I'll be back later on. I'm going to upload this episode here in about 30 minutes. So people that follow GT Sports, the prediction and discussion, let me know what you think. I want to hear your thoughts, Houston fans, if I have any there. On the comment section, let me know what you thought about the game. Like I said, I know you're going to be disappointed, but after all, man, great season, exceeded expectations in my view. And if there are any Baltimore Ravens fans, let me know if you guys, what you thought about the game, and can your team, if there's any out there, comment, let me know if you guys are going to win the Super Bowl. And if you think they're going to go to the Super Bowl like I do, tell me why you think they're going to get there and why they're going to win. And tell me who you think they're going to play up against, because I think it's going to be the San Francisco 49ers from what I saw yesterday, but I don't know. So I have the Ravens and the 49ers. If you think that's what's going to happen, let me know which team you think will win and why. If you think there's another team, I also like to hear from you. So definitely put it in there. Let me know what you thought. And I'll be back here in a couple of hours to upload the second one that I'll break down between the 49ers and the Packers. That was also a good game. So until a few hours from now, enjoy the game, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.